Welcome and thank you so much for joining for our Saturday update. Now, normally on Saturdays, we like to go over the macro scale, but I will be going over moments of the macro scale due to time. But we're going to get you guys today the weekly and daily expected moves and go over the shorter time frames as well. So it'll just be some macro kind of sprinkled in throughout our analysis as we go through the SPY, the Qs, and the IWM with some volatility. We're going to look at those things because some things were cleared up potentially on that macro scale, even if we do get a drop here because of the move from Thursday into Friday from volatility. So let's get into it. If you've been watching, we've been talking about this yellow line. And normally, when we talk about this yellow line, if we get up to those areas and we start to see reversal signals, we always watch out because this is the top of your 68% zone for the month of August. And you got there pretty quickly. So, do we see us land back in the 68% zone? And I think that's the main question here. And we're going to consider that on the shorter time frames. But something that is being well aware to us, something that we pointed out multiple times over the past few videos, is this move here from the SPY. Very, very different from the Qs. We'll go over that in a moment. But the SPY here overall suggesting like, hey, this isn't some kind of lower high. This isn't some kind of even divergence at this point on the daily scale. So should we be worried about some massive move to the downside? We know that can happen. We know markets aren't 100% and things like that. So everything has a possibility, but is it very probable? Well, that's where I wanted to talk to you about volatility. As we get over into volatility here, you'll notice that over these couple of sessions here, we continued to push this MACD lower and lower. That has gotten rid of a lot of the daily signals that suggested a big move can come. Can it still come? Yes, and things can happen. But as of right now, that would be low probability. The deeper this goes into negative territory, the more probable it is to see a lower high. And that's the main thing we need to get across in this video. This tells us a lot as far as, what things should we be paying attention to, right? We may pay attention to 5 different things, but which one do we want to have the closest in our hand, if you will? And so we notice here that this is dipping further and further into negative territory. There is no divergence there on your MACD anymore, no potential divergence happening there. The VIX is starting to get a little crushed. No divergence here for the RSI either. So this tells us a lot. It tells us that the weekly scale rejected, and we notice the rejection right up at these levels. If we would have confirmed here, that could have been a big problem. But considering we have overall rejected the move, even if the weekly is able to curl up here, it still would lean towards a lower high. So you kind of have the macro scale. So we went over a little bits of the macro, and I think the main thing about this that's important is the daily MACD being so negative that any kind of pop from the daily MACD would most likely resolve itself in a lower high, and we need to take that information over into the SPY. But first, we need to see, is the daily likely to curl up here? Well, if we pull up that 2 hour, we've been paying attention to some divergences. Have we violated those divergences completely here? No, we have not. So you still have those divergences unconfirmed again, right? Going for maybe a quadruple. And really, the market right now, this volatility move here would point towards more crushing of the VIX. So more squeezing can come unless this is able to flip the script very quickly and just confirm up early next week before violating this small divergence here on the RSI. Remember that when we are going over this, we made you aware that these divergences were only seen on the MACD and not the RSI at the same time. And that tells us that we have to take it with a little grain of salt and look for potential failures. We see a potential failure right now. So if you want big volatility to come in early next week, you need this thing to start popping to the upside. And I think it would be a very nice time for us to get some kind of daily pullback, but it doesn't matter what I feel like would be nice. It matters what actually is proven early on next week. So this tells us that even with these type of signals, we would really need to be watching early next week to see if that daily move from volatility can come. And what does the daily lower high tell us about the macro scale for the SPY? And yes, we are going to go straight into the SPY analysis here. Well, the key thing here is, and let's bounce around for just a moment. The SPY looks completely different than the Qs. The Qs look completely different than the IWM. As far as indicators go and things like that, it's very, very critical. And you remember that IWM was one that we suggested just a few trading sessions ago. We said that if this is able to curl down, it would be a point of divergence. We would want to see this thing start to violate those divergences if we are going to get any kind of probability of continuation to the upside. We did that on Friday. On Friday, we actually did see us come above this point right here, violating that potential divergence. It means that even if we do pull back, we can see buyer demand step in. Can this thing just flush to the downside? Yes, you are still close to the center line. It is still a risky signal, but not being at the same time on the RSI and that violation there does lean you into, hey, I need to be prepared in case we do curl to the upside as far as IWM goes. This is how we kind of show how the market proves itself, and then we kind of advance how we've analyzed, right? We use that new information to see what becomes most probable from this standpoint. As of right now, IWM violating on the RSI. Hey, yeah, it's still got the MACD divergence, but the RSI violating that makes you go, okay, well, now that that's gone, we need to pay attention to both that lower high scenario and the potential for big risk. So we need to get into the shorter time frames. Remember, the Qs are also completely different. The Qs, if they rotate down on the daily, yes, they would be going into negative territory, but they're just starting to go positive. So if we never curl the daily down, then we're probably heading up. That's one thing. The other thing is the fact that this is able to continue to push into positive territory, the fact that the SPY now is suggesting a higher low with what's going on over there that we're going to go over, and that IWM violated the divergences, it would lean you towards, even if we get some kind of daily move to the downside, we may just carve out a higher low to turn back up. So a lot of this is just to show you how that volatile moment that could come with expiration with OPEX, that is this week, we can just see a simple daily pullback or even a simple 2-hour pullback if we really, really want to. So let's really look at the SPY and consider what's going on here, because this is the most convincing as far as continuation goes. You notice that we have gone positive, pretty well positive at this moment. We have violated this divergence over here on the MACD and the divergence, the lower high on the MACD and the lower high on the RSI, which tells us this might just be the first move, which means we're very likely, even if we get a daily pullback, to get a second one. So for right now, I think it is good for us to read off the weekly expected moves. Those weekly expected moves of 784.08 and 768.60. Now, the key thing about these ranges right now, very small. So notice that we had the bigger ranges, they start to tighten up, and now they are very, very small. That tells us that we are now open for some kind of surprise. That tells us that this dry kind of price action here might lead to some tightness that then causes a big reaction in one direction, and it's our job to dictate and react when that is going to happen. So we notice that this being so positive, though, does not have divergence, does not have a lower high. So are we thinking that this is going to plummet into the ground? Sure, that can happen, but it's low probability. Right now, with what volatility is showing, with what IWM just did, and with the SPY being in such a positive trend, we would say that even if we get a daily pullback here, it will just be that, some type of daily pullback. So I want to give you second standard deviation. The second standard deviation for the SPY to the upside is going to be 791. That would be 791.82 to the upside, and the second standard deviation to the downside will be 760.86. And this is just in case we get a surprise. If we get a surprise, we can get into this type of gap area. That would be the perfect area to retest in my book. I really like that area in there as far as a retest. It looks like a lot of resistance that can become support, and you have the good buyers in there to support it as well. So everything we've seen on the macro scale as it developed going into Friday, it now kind of takes a little bit more off of, hey, there's going to be some big correction here, and it more so leans towards, if you get a daily pullback, it will just be that you're very likely to retest critical levels and then just be on your way to the annual expected move. And I highly suggest you put 796.10 on your charts. Let's go into the 2-hour chart too, because as of right now, we are attempting to reject. Now, we haven't seen a good closing bar below the 9 on the 2-hour. But this rejection here can be pretty important. If it is able to fully reject early on next week and we get some surprising news, that's where that second standard deviation can come in. If we get that to confirm down and we don't get really surprising news, right, but we just kind of slowly get down into these areas, we would look for potential 30-minute divergences for the 2 hour to be able to curl up. So the simple way to put this market right now, looking at the 2 hour, is if we can confirm to the upside, hey, there's no problems dabbling down here, there's no problems dabbling down here, we're very likely to stretch that out and head to the weekly expected move of 784.08. But if we're able to confirm to the downside and get a surprise, we'll notice that right away, and we're very likely to head to 760, that second standard deviation. If we do not get a surprise, then we most likely will slowly kind of grind our way into that weekly expected move of 768.60. And that's how we look at the market ahead. As we go into the 30-minute chart, we notice that this, though, is still in a positive trend. We do not see lower high. We do not see divergence. So is all of that 2 hour turning down very likely to happen? According to the 30-minute, no, it is not. So with the 30-minute is able to confirm here, we just confirm to the upside, get above this 9 on the 30-minute. We can head all the way up to 778.47, maybe even test the high and go make a new one because this is so positive and has no divergence, has no lower high behind it. To the downside, though, if we fail to curl up, then we are likely heading down to 774.21. And those are your daily expected moves to get you your 68% zone for Monday. Sometimes I like to do the 30-minute, kind of do it backwards. This time I really don't. I want you to see things kind of step by step. And I think that this 2 hour here is something to acknowledge. You did like slightly confirm right on the 9 on the 2 hour here. But what did you confirm? You confirmed a potential divergence here on the MACD and RSI at the same time. If you'd like me to blow up that RSI, you can see that this point is obviously lower than this one, but the price action is obviously, hey, this point is higher than this one over here. The 2 hour chart, though, we need to read off those weekly expected moves. We see 743.49 to the upside, 718.65 to the downside. Once again, a small range for the Qs. We've had big ranges, maybe with the earnings, ever since all this stuff, man. We've had some big ranges, but notice we're hesitating at the monthly expected move. This is the top side monthly expected move. That means that this zone, you have a 68% chance to land in here with only like a 32% chance to land outside. Some people would say 16 to land outside of the top. I totally, however you can understand it the best for you to be successful is important to me. That's all. If the 2 hour is able to reject here, meaning reject the divergence and turn to the upside, well, then we can stretch that out all the way up to 743.49 if we really want to. But with the divergences, this gives more of a case that the Qs are actually showing a potential confirmation, not the best confirmation because this is sitting right on the 9 on the 2 hour, but the 30-minute here is something we need to consider first. All right, let's consider this before we start to talk about the daily chart. Let's look at the 30-minute chart and say, hey, that doesn't have divergence, that doesn't have any kind of lower high. All that happened was we saw a pullback down into some good buyers. And if those good buyers are showing up, it looks like they did towards the end of the day. If we get a confirmation here, we can stretch that out all the way up to 734.64. If we fail to curl up, then we might head the opposite direction and go to 727.50. Once again, if we are going to see some kind of bigger disruption, though, it will very likely come as a surprise that we're then able to break down to a second standard deviation. And that would be because this 2 hour divergence does say that the daily is likely to cross down. That's why at the beginning of this video, we went over the fact that we could do something like this, where we could get that left head and right shoulder. We talked about this a couple videos ago. We talked about some macro stuff at the beginning of this video. And that seems to be the most probable if we're able to curl down the daily. It doesn't look like, as of right now, big volatility can come in. That also doesn't mean if the daily's turning down, I'm really, grabbing something, right? I'm treating it seriously at first. So as of right now, we would be looking at the 2 hour chart. We do see somewhat of a kind of wonky confirmation for this divergence. This does open the door to potential selling next week. And we have to be open to a surprise because these ranges have soaked in a little bit. And it would be very unexpected to get a surprise this week, according to your weekly expected moves. You guys remember IWM needed to stretch this out, right? We said it needs to stretch this out. It needs to squeeze a little bit. It needs to get rid of some signals, and it got rid of the signal on the daily scale. So that's very, very cool to see. That opens the door. Yes, we still want to be aware there's a divergence if this would cross down on the MACD. So we're still aware this can happen, but overall, this would start to become more probable across the board based on everything that we have analyzed. Some kind of higher low on the daily. Now, we were looking for that 2-hour divergence to potentially confirm, but if we stretch this out too far, did we violate on the RSI? And you'll notice right here, we violated on the RSI. That tells us that even the 2-hour chart here for IWM could go for another push if it really wanted to. But if this is some kind of dry run, you still have the divergence here on the MACD. So you do still have a reason to pay attention to this type of move this week, but also the 2-hour chart is suggesting you can just get a pullback that leads to more buyer demand and continue this party according to the RSI. So IWM here got rid of a big reason, right? I like 3 to 5 reasons, and it got rid of one of those big reasons on Friday. So daily expected moves very tight. Weekly expected moves are posted Patreon if you want to join in the description down there. 306.41 to the upside, 303.77 to the downside, and the 30-minute chart is having all these wonky little things happen here. So if you want to continue this party, this thing probably needs to see a bigger move to the upside, or it's always going to be at risk of, pulling back on the 2-hour or even retracing on the daily, if you will. So I'd really be watching out for this. This is a critical time to understand the risks, and as you are outside of monthly expected moves, this becomes risky. So what are the things I watch for? I watch for if this is curling up into positive territory, then we have the potential to squeeze higher, at least to the weekly expected move. If not, squeezing all the way through and getting to the annual expected move, right? Continuing the party. But if the cues with that divergence over here, trying to kind of get that wonky confirmation, if that has anything to say, if Vixpiration going to reprice those options has anything to say, we should be aware that starting a daily pullback from here makes sense, especially when we consider where we're at as far as monthly expected moves go. So I want you to understand the risk here. 68% of the time you will land down in this area, but we did get somewhat of a surprise at the beginning of the month. So this is one of those months where you will have to pay attention to both directions. If the 2-hour is able to confirm here, who's to say it's not going to squeeze all the way up to the second standard deviation? But for this week, you're just watching that upside weekly expected move. And if we're able to confirm to the downside and we start to see these dailies roll, what seems to be the most probable? Well, the most probable as of right now, based on the information that we went through in this video, is that you can see somewhat of a surprise. Maybe you see consolidation for a little bit, right? But if you see a surprise, you can do that this week and come down into these areas and then just confirm back to the upside going on into the end of August. So I wanted to bring these topics up, and I do hope it is helpful to you. If you want to learn, the full technical analysis course is down there. You only have just a few days left to get it for 80% off before the price goes way, way up. So I would look at that if you are considering learning and advancing your learning so that you can be successful in markets. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day. Peace out.